you know, back with another video because I love doing these things, and I know that there's been a bit of understandable concern amongst the people that know me over recent events. Life has gotten kind of really tough. I'm still putting one foot in front of the other. Still stepping up. Still ever relentless, doing my thing and doing what I can do. But sometimes, no matter how positive your outlook is, how many great people you know, people you talk to, actually going out and spending time like watching Alex play ball hockey on Wednesday and stuff, really cool stuff, right? You still sometimes you just can't get the obsessive thoughts out of your head. I mean, you can do all the treatments, the cognitive behavior therapy stuff, like look at why am I feeling this way? Are there facts that justify me feeling like this, for or against? Is the situation that you can't get out of your head, is that dangerous or life-threatening in any way, or not? And deal with that. And I've been having huge problems with my anxiety levels lately. I've been dealing with anxiety issues since my teenage years. Had some, some interesting trials and tribulations through that, right? But yesterday, Thursday, was one of those days where the obsessive thoughts just wouldn't leave me alone. And I could not get by them. Okay. And when something like that happens, you need to have a plan. Okay. Because, sometimes, as much as we are all enough, sometimes we aren't enough alone. But if we have a plan, then we know what we can do, without, to try and deal with these things. Luckily for me, something my lovely mother gave me a piece of advice when I was in my teenage years, when I was dealing with some really tough times, really stuck with me. She was great, saying, sometimes if you know that you can't handle it, you're worried about what's going to happen next, you can always go to a hospital, to the emergency room. They will see you and, and help you out. So as the obsessive thoughts were going through my head yesterday, the anxiety was racing and racing, just because, so I had all the interest in the world in working yesterday, and it didn't work out. Stuff just got weird. I was feeling a little bit on the confused side. I was just uncomfortable. It wasn't myself, and round and round and round my thoughts were going. I just remembered that advice that Mom had given me when I was, back in the late 90s, go to a hospital. And I am so thankful that instead of acting on what was going through my head, I went, and I went to the General Hospital. I'm blessed that it is actually, maybe 10-15 minute walk from where I am right now. And walking is also one of those things that helps focus me. So I go to the hospital. And sure, I spent a lot of time in triage, but I got there. They're like, okay, how, why are you here? I explained it. They're like, okay, sit close to me. Don't go anywhere. We will help you as soon as we can. And sure, I do get that it took a lot of hours to go through that process. That is, triage. As long as I'm there, they're going to get to me. I'm not going to, I'm stable as long, in that situation, things are squirrely in the old jelly bean, but I'm stable. So So I go through that whole process, and you know what? It's sort of the weirdest thing, right? Because I'm like there and I'm waiting in this room and then I'm waiting in that room, going through the process, and it feels like, they move you every once in a while just to make you feel like you're getting somewhere, right? Here, wait in this room. Now wait in this room. Okay, wait in that room. Okay, sit in that room and see the emergency doctor attending. And then wait in this room, right? Until you can see, a mental health specialist. And I guess the thing is too, people, you gotta remember, just because you need help, and I know there's a lot of stigma about this, but the best thing that you can do is see that mental health specialist, wait your turn, talk to somebody. There is no stigma. I mean, we all get weak. It's not quitting if you don't sit there and continue to handle it by yourself and you seek help. It's not quitting at all. It would be quitting to try and do all this all on your own, because sometimes things are just bigger than you. So I really want to thank the psychiatrist that was attending, Dr. Holden, and all her staff. They treated me wonderfully. It was a tough experience, but it was a good thing to be. I spend probably too much time by myself for the type of person that I am, and it's funny to say, but actually going and waiting in the waiting room with all the other people that were waiting was actually good for me. I mean, I'm not patient, right? But there's stuff happening, and gets me to another point, right? I have this really, really bad habit, okay? I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people, as soon as, if they're interesting, they seem cool, they seem chill, I'll start talking with them. I really need to friggin' start introducing myself. I'm not down on myself for that. It's just a bad habit. I get in there and we'll have conversations, and then they'll be my new best buddy, and I will never think to say, hey, I'm Canum, and you are? Oh, it's pleased to meet you, or whatever. No, I'll just go right into the conversation. The conversation's so much fun, right? But then the conversation ends, you leave, they leave, and, it's just another wonderful person in this world that I won't talk to again. Probably, odds are, because I won't know how to get a hold of them, whatever. So definitely something I want to work on. But there is, two people in one of the waiting rooms. I had a wonderful conversation with this gentleman who unfortunately dropped a big sheet of plywood on his foot, and it missed his steel toe about that much, and it was like this. But we were talking about Flash and Arrow and all this good stuff. He's a really cool guy, and you know what? Don't know his name. Didn't anything. It's the same thing. There was this wonderful Somali Muslim young lady that was there with her mom. Her mom had unfortunately had fallen and hurt her head, and they were checking her out and doing all that stuff. And my God, I mean, we were both sitting in the waiting room, and I'm just sort of looking around, and I caught her eye, and she caught mine, and she gave me this smile, and I smiled back, and it was just like, whoo, what? It was like electrical charge goes through my body. I'm like, wow, right? And so we start talking to you, and a bunch about her, history and her family and stuff like that. She's such a pleasure to talk to. And then finally, because I'm still waiting, they get done with mom. Mom is okay. Mom is gonna have, some headaches. They're gonna give her some Tylenol to have or whatever, right? So everything's great. And so as she's leaving, she's like, wishes me have a great night. It's been, great, talking to you and all that. And I'm like, yeah, you too, right? And I'm just sitting there going, why didn't I just, at what point we talked about so much stuff. We were, things were going So cool. We're having a nice interaction. Um, at what point do I like, you know, so like, hey, I'm Kadam and you are? It's like, it's like I had such a great time talking to you. Like maybe we could exchange our information. Talk sometime in the future. Anything like that. Like I'm not talking about, and it's the same thing with the other gentleman I was talking about Flash. I'm not talking about all these people on like prospective relationships or stuff, but like friends. Like great, make more friends. I really enjoy people. So yeah. So I guess to sort of wrap this up, that's a little personal thing that I need to work on. I've never been very good at it. I've been very good at talking with people and meeting people and enjoying interactions. Never been really good at like introducing myself or next steps, right? But the whole point of just kind of like putting this up, I'm good. Had a tough time. We're good though. I've been given so many resources, and stuff to follow up, and life is a process. Sometimes you just need a little extra help. But I'm so very grateful for my mother's lovely advice, for the wonderful people that I talked to, the staff of the General Hospital who were so great for me in the situation, and for Dr. Holden and the rest of the psychiatric staff. Thank you so much. You've really helped me through a really tough time. You guys do a wonderful job. So I just want to leave with like the final thought. There is no shame in realizing that you need help. There is no shame in going, okay, right now things are too hard for me by myself. And there are lots of resources for all of us. So at the end of this video, I will be like attaching a few of those resources that they shared with me, and I just want to share with other people in case they need it, if they need somebody who does, whatever, right? But peace out, everybody. Everything is good. I know what I'm. I've got a plan, and you know what? Stay beautiful, folks.